More than 1.7 million migrants were apprehended at the southern border in the year 2021. That is the highest number in 2 decades, and we have been telling you about it. Sheriff Mark Lamb from Pinal County, Arizona, joins me now. Sheriff, good to see you. Define the migrant situation where you are right now.
Oh, it's a disaster. I mean, I'm not even on the border. I'm about 50, 60 miles off the border. On the south end of my county, I have a Native American reservation. So while you hear what's happening in Yuma and Del Rio, I can assure you the cartel has taken advantage of those checkpoints being clogged to push military-age men from who knows what countries with who knows what kind of criminal histories into counties like mine. Not to mention, I have the I-10 interstate and the I-8 interstate that are right in the heart of my county, which is where a lot of these illegals and illegal drugs are being trafficked into America.
It's such a problem. What are you doing about it, and what are you asking the government to do about it? How can the Biden administration help you?
Well, what we're asking the government to do is very simple: do your job. Arizona several years ago passed SB 1070, which would have made it possible for Arizona to charge people for being in this country illegally, making it a state crime. The federal courts overturned that, said that was the federal government's responsibility. But what do we do now when you have a federal government that's not doing their job? They're not doing anything about that. They're continuing with their rhetoric, which is confusing to these people, and they're coming into this country illegally. As you can see, the numbers are the proof in the pudding.
Texas is building their own border wall. Is Arizona doing something like that?
Arizona is going to be a lot more challenging. A lot of the border is on the Indian reservation, so that's sovereign land. And then you have BLM land, state trust land. Not a lot of it is on private land. And so the only places you could really do that effectively is on private land. And unfortunately, that's not a lot of it here in Arizona.
This is a disaster, as you said. And then there's this, Sheriff. Uber drivers are telling Fox News that illegal migrants are hailing rides further into the U.S. from the border, so further than where you are and further in. Here you go.
We'll get a notification of a pickup, head down to the location, and there will be a group of 20-plus immigrants standing on the corner waiting for Ubers, and they'll just hop in and go wherever they're going.
So, Sheriff, you just heard that Uber driver say he would head to his pickup location and dozens of migrants would just be waiting there for Ubers.
Yeah, well, we get them in our county, too. They come in with camouflage clothes and carpet shoes, and the cartel is paying the pickup drivers probably about $800 per body. So you look at it from a business perspective, it is much cheaper for the cartels just to pay Ubers. And I know people will say, well, can we charge those Uber drivers? Well, honestly, there's really no criminal intent. They're going over there. They don't know who they're picking up, and all of a sudden they pick up a few people that they suspect of being illegal. It's really hard to charge any Uber drivers. But look, this is what we're dealing with. The cartel is constantly changing their tactics. That's why we need support. Hopefully people will come support the sheriffs at ProtectAmericaNow.com and help us do our job and do the job that the federal government's not doing.
Can you repeat that address for us?
And that's ProtectAmericaNow.com. And thank you. We appreciate the support. And Lauren, thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it as well.
Oh, you're not done yet. I got 2 more questions for you. The first one is, how exactly can these Uber drivers tell that who they're picking up isn't supposed to be here? What are some signs?
Well, I mean, like, for example, in my county, it would be camouflage clothes and carpet shoes. But I would say right there in that area, people carrying backpacks. And that place, they don't tend to have the carpet shoes and the camouflage clothes. So I would look for the large groups of 20 like that. And look, for any Uber driver out there, it's not worth the fare that they're paying you. It is extremely dangerous. You don't know who these people are. You don't know what kind of criminal history they have. So please, I would steer away from those if you can.
And you don't know who they're meeting up with. It's, you know what, Sheriff, you've depressed us enough. The news is sour and somber these days. So let's end on a positive note. What are you doing for the holidays?
Oh, I'm going to stay at home. I love being at home. Any chance I get, I'm going to just enjoy it with the family and have a good Christmas. And look, for all your listeners out there, America's going to be okay. These are hard times. It's not the first time we've had hard times as a country. Enjoy the time with your family. Don't let the government scare you. This is what they do. They create chaos. Our own White House is trying to instill fear in people. You go, just turn off your news and enjoy the holiday season with your family.
Well said. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thanks, Lauren.